Hey champions, it's Mrs. Holt here, your friendly neighborhood art teacher. It's time for another lesson together in the art room, the virtual art room. I'm in the art room now. I wish you guys were here with me, but until we can meet again in this space, we're going to work on art virtually online. For this lesson, you're going to need a piece of paper. You're going to need a pencil, a Sharpie or a black marker, and something to color with. I'm going to be using crayons for this lesson. If you have markers or colored pencils, paint, whatever you want to use that. Just something that you can color with. I like crayons because they're super fun. So go ahead and gather your materials, turn on your concentration caps, and let's get creating. Alright peeps, we're going to be making a masked self-portrait just like the one I'm showing you here. We're going to fold our paper, draw ourselves, which is a self-portrait, and then come up with some words to describe ourselves. So let's get started. Alright friends, once you've gathered your three materials, your pencil, your Sharpie, your paper, your crayons, we're going to fold our paper. So you want to make sure your paper is vertical, not horizontal. You're going to bring these bottom two corners up to meet the top. You're going to press and make a seal in the center. Really make sure those corners are matched up nicely. Then you're going to take those top two corners and fold them down to meet the bottom half there. Just like that, and seal your paper. Now you're going to bring those last top two corners, you guessed it, right down over the top and press and seal a nice tight seal. Then you're just going to open that first flap just like that. So this is what your paper should look like before we begin. Okay? Then you're going to take your pencil and you're going to find the center of your paper. And on the top half of that fold, you're going to make two semicircles on either side of your finger. And you're going to draw a straight line at the bottom to close them off. Those are your eyeballs. Then, zoom in for clarity, you're going to draw a circle on the inside, which is your iris, and a small circle with an even smaller circle on top of that for your pupils. Give yourself some eyebrows because those things are important. And now we're going to draw the top of our head. So find the center point above that. You want to give some space between there and the edge of the paper, and you're just making another semicircle. And this is your forehead and the side of your face. Then you're going to draw the tops of your ears. Just by those little hooked lines. And now we're going to draw our hair. So hair has different textures. This particular friend's hair is more bumpy and more textured, and their hair is up in these cute little top knots. So now we're going to draw the bottom half of your face that's wearing a mask. So we've made 2 points. The bottom point is where your chin is, and the middle point, which is just from the top, is going to be where your mask is going to go, where your nose would be. 2 lines for your neck. And then we're going to add some patterns to our mask, because that's one of the cool things about wearing masks is you get to wear any type of pattern or color that you want. So the next step is to take your Sharpie and go over all of those pencil lines. Now if Miss Holt went too fast with this demo, go back, rewind it, pause it, catch up, just so you can make sure you're following along with me. I have some other examples of different hair types I'll show you in just a second. But once you finish with your Sharpie, you're going to go back through with an eraser and you're going to erase all of those pencil lines because we don't need them. We just want to see our nice Sharpie lines. All right, when you're starting to color in your self-portrait, think about your features, your skin tone, your hair color, your eye color. One really good coloring technique is if you take your crayon or whatever you're using and you outline the shapes that you're coloring in a darker line, and then you can shade inside with lighter pressure. It makes a really cool, really nice technique. Make sure you're staying inside those lines. You're coloring nice and dark, no peekaboo spots. If you have kind of curly hair texture, you don't have to color it all the way in. You can use those kind of loopy lines, curly lines inside your hair to create more texture. Now around our face, we're going to add some different lines. You can use straight lines, curvy lines, zigzag lines, whatever you want to create the outside background of your face. Here is another example of a self-portrait. This one is of a young boy. So just like we did with the first one, we're making those little semicircles. This is after you've already folded your paper. If you need to go back and watch the beginning of the video on how to fold your paper, you can do that. I just went in with this one with pure Sharpie, but if you feel like you need to start with pencil and then go back over your lines, do that, because you know everyone makes mistakes and that's absolutely fine. So here I'm giving him some eyelids, some eyelashes, and some eyebrows is another way you can make eyebrows. You can just use little hash marks to make your eyebrows. To go in over the top of that, make them a little darker. Really think about your own physical features, what your face looks like, the different things. You might wear glasses, you might have braces, you might have straight hair, curly hair, short hair, long hair. Think about all of those things and how you can make this your own self-portrait. So I'm just darkening up those eyebrows. Now again, we're going to find the center point towards the bottom, or excuse me, the top, to mark the forehead. And I'm just going to curve that line around to make the top of this friend's head. Adding in his little ears. And now we are going to add his hair. This particular friend has this little spikes up at the top, and I'm not going right on top of that forehead line because our hair doesn't sit slick down on our head. It sits a little bit off the top of our forehead. So you can see that top of his head is kind of in the middle of where his hair is. Now I use Sharpie to begin, so if you have lighter colored hair like blonde hair, or red hair, you want to go in with pencil first and then erase the top line where your forehead is so that you don't see that Sharpie line in the middle of your hair. But this friend has black hair, so it doesn't really matter. Again, you're going to draw your mask and add in a pattern that represents you. This friend really likes the flash, so he has a lightning bolt mask. So I just added in some different lightning bolts to create the pattern on his mask. Everyone should have different patterns. Really think about what you like. You might have a mask that already has a pattern on it that you might want to replicate in your self-portrait. So just filled in some more little lightning bolt shapes to finish his mask. Now you're going to add the neckline. So the neck starts. Draw an imaginary line down from the middle of the eye. You can kind of see where you should put your neck. You're also going to add in the bottom parts of your ears to your friend, so then that way when you open it you have two ears. When you open up your mask, this is where you're going to draw the part of your face that's not wearing a mask. So this is a really cool effect. So when you fold it up, it looks like you're wearing a mask. When you unfold it, you're not. You can just draw this kind of curved line for your nose. And this friend has a big crooked smile. I'm going to bring down the corners to create the sides of his face and his chin. Again, with your neck, come down a little bit, give yourself a shirt collar, and then we're going to draw our shoulders that come off the sides and down. Not all the way off the page, but really close. So now I need to add some teeth. So I'm going to give this friend some teeth, drawing these little square rectangle shapes. Your tongue is this kind of M shape. And this friend is wearing braces, so I gave him some braces. Remember, think about what you look like and what you would draw in your self-portrait. I'm going to finish up his ears on the bottom side as well. So now you're going to think about a word to describe yourself. One word that you could think of would be the most descriptive of who you are as a person. And we're going to write that word on our shirt. So we don't want to write teeny little letters. We want to write nice and big so we can see it. And this is an easy way to make bubble letters. So you write the word in normal letters. And then you're going to take your pencil and trace around your letters with a little bit of space. Each letter you're going to trace around, and this is a really easy way to make bubble letters. So I'm just going to keep tracing around those words, and then I'm going to go back and erase the letters inside. And when I finish doing that, I'm going to have a really nice bubble letter. So now you're going to think of some different words to describe you. And you can use the bubble letter again, or you can just write it in your regular handwriting. But we want to make sure that we're writing our words fairly large so that we can read them. This friend is smart as well, and this is also going to be a little bubble word. So if you need to review how to make those bubble letters, here's how you do it again. Think about where you're placing the words as well. So this word smart, I had it kind of follow along the edge of the face. And that just makes it a little bit more interesting to the eye instead of just listing them vertically. So this kind of goes at like a little bit of a corner. So I'm going to go back and erase the insides of my bubble letters with my eraser. And I have to go back through and fix some of those lines. And then you're going to think about, let's say, 4 to 5 words total. So including the words you wrote on your shirt. So you need to add 4 or 5 more words outside around your face. But you're not going to draw above that top crease. You're not going to write your letters above the top crease. So where the eyes, the line of the eyes are, we're not going to write above that because we don't want to see those letters when we fold our mask back up. So I wrote in cursive. If you don't know how to write in cursive, it's not a big deal. So this friend is loving and smart and silly. And I think this is going to say athletic. So he likes to play sports. He's athletic. And he is fun. Alright, so I switched back to the first self-portrait we were drawing at the beginning of the video, and I'm just showing you how you can color in the center part of your self-portrait. You want to pick your favorite color and color your shirt in that color. Remember, I'm using that technique where I'm outlining things with a darker or harder pressure with my crayon and then using a lighter pressure to fill in the rest of the space. Creates kind of a cool effect. So I colored in my shirt, and then I'm going to color in all my bubble letters nice and solid. You can do lighter pressure, darker pressure, however you want to do it. Once I finish coloring in all of my bubble letters, and I'm choosing colors that I think would be this friend's favorite color. You can use colors to outline the words you've written in normal script, so not the bubble letters, so you just go around it. You can also add some different shapes around and color that in. Just want to make it nice and bright and colorful. The last step you're going to do is color in around your words, whatever color you want to choose. This doesn't have to be really dark or really solid. I used yellow, so it was really kind of light. But you're going to color in all around your words to complete your masked self-portrait. So here's another way to draw your face if you have glasses. I'm going to speed through this one as well. Also, if you have long hair, this is another way you could draw your hair if it was long. I'm just going to speed through drawing and coloring this. If you need to slow it down, you can do that. Pause it, whatever you need to do. I'm just going to speed through. Remember to color really nicely inside your lines. Add in your background lines. You can double up your line, so I use blue and purple. Just gives it a little more interest and excitement. Coloring inside those little hearts on her mask and around the hearts for the color of her mask. So here are 3 different examples of my self-portraits that we made, our masked self-portraits. I hope you guys really enjoyed this lesson. I enjoyed creating with you, and I'll see you again soon.